Hi, Stitchers.
Hi, I'm Keisha.
I'm Laura, and welcome to the Pattern Queens episode 75.
Ooh,
It's a big one.
yes.
Today is Sunday, November 7th. You get us 2 weeks in a row for a Flosstube. And this is a channel about cross stitch.
And friendship and rambles and lots of shenanigans and being on time with our schedule. Oh, it's so nice to settle back in.
Yes. I have noticed lately that our friends Chloe and Felicity, who have combined channels, and now they are fortunate Flossies on YouTube, on Flosstube, that they're using a similar intro to us.
Oh,
So
nice.
I think they like our rambles and shenanigans.
Well, there are our Australian offshoot.
There you go. So thank you. We want to welcome you all to the video. Thank you if you're brand new here for coming and joining us. I am like discombobulated, obviously, huh? And welcome. And this is what you can expect. More
Right.
this.
It's just going to be like 30 to 45, maybe an hour. Maybe we're here for 2 hours. I don't know, but it's all this all the time.
Oh my gosh, if we were here 2 hours, oh my God. I think the only time we did that is when we had whip parades.
Yeah, well, I mean, but you never know with us, Laura. You just never know with us.
That's true. And in addition to the newbies, if you are somebody who is a returner, thank you so much for coming back. We have had a ton of great comments. I don't think I tagged you and let you know, but there were a lot of people who loved seeing James come in last week.
Well, good. I'm glad. That's just a little look into the chaos that is my life. So if you don't know, I think we've maybe talked about it before, but my husband works overnights. And so he comes home, we eat breakfast. I come in here. He watches James for a little bit. James takes a nap. And if we go long, then James wakes up. He's our little built-in time constraint. So that's why I heard him crying last week, and I was like, oh, Laura, gotta go get James. That's why you got to see him. And if you're new here, James is my 15-month-old. So,
and if you want to see him, go to the last episode and go to the end and look.
Yeah, and he'll show you all of his toys and just talk over Laura the entire time.
It was hysterical. So anyway, what's new with you this week?
Oh my goodness. Well, it's not really what's new with me. This week, it's all what's new with James, which, let's face it, it's usually what I talk about. He's learned how to climb his slide. We have like a little slide at home, and he's learned how to climb up the ladder and slide himself, which is a little terrifying because he's climbing up something, but also great for my arms because it means I don't have to set him up there and let him slide 10 times and then tell him that I can't do that anymore. So we've been going to the park. We went to the park the past couple of days, and he can just climb right up the stairs to go up the slides. He used to be just a swing man, but now he's all over everything. So it's been pretty
fun.
But what's new in my life, and I'll talk about it a little bit more here later, is my team won the World Series.
Woohoo!
So that means a finish. So just a spoiler for the next section of the video. So what's new with you, Laura?
Well, I got to go do jury duty last Monday, and I did not get selected for jury duty, however, or for the trial. However, it meant that I had the day off. I came home, got here just in time to get the spoiler cards for the nice list box, and so I started stickering them. Ooh. So I have been stickering these cards. Now I'm not going to pull one out, it's under some stuff, but I have been putting stickers on, and I'm down to about, I think I have about a third of what I started with left to do.
Wow.
Because 25 stickers per card, it's a lot.
Right. Yeah.
So and then yesterday we packed the November box, resolution stitching, and we got that all out, and it's lovely to have that done and out in the mail. We're packing the nice list this coming weekend, and then we are done packing for the year. Packing
I'm sure.
boxes. We're done
Yeah.
packing boxes.
I'm sure you are just ready because that's a lot of packing you've had to do in the past couple of months.
Yes.
So.
And we're frantically finishing up packaging for the nice list. I think we're down to just a handful of things left to finish off, plus the cards. So fun at my house. And if you saw Keisha smile big when I said November resolution, see, she can't even hold it in.
I can't hold it in.
Resolution box. That's because she already has hers.
Yes. Unfortunately, I was at the park whenever it got dropped off at my house. We live like 10 or 15 minutes from each other. So rather than shipping me things, Laura and Katie are nice enough to bring them to me. And usually I sit in the back of their car with a struggling James opening up the boxes. But this time we were at the park, and I told Laura it's a good thing because I just kept yelling at the things in the box because they were so good. So, and of course, I'm not going to show you anything in haul this time because people haven't gotten their boxes, but there are some really cool things in there that I'm really excited about. So
I'm so glad you like it.
So hopefully if you're a person who got the box, you're as excited because they're really cool things, very thoughtful, very well thought out things. So
I think you will definitely feel the theme when you get this.
Oh, for sure. So
I'm excited, and in a couple of weeks we'll talk about it more because I'm really excited about this one.
Right. Well, one of the things in the box is going to be something that I use a lot, I feel like. So you're probably going to see it a lot on this channel. So that's all I'm going to say. I'm very excited about it.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so you already hinted at this, but would you like to show us your finish?
Yes, I would. And I didn't bring in the cover page because it's finished. Okay. So my finish, I finished Home Run by Mill Hill. And here it is. So this has been my 25/7 piece, I think since probably in June, maybe July. I know I started it after the one that I finished that I started in May. So but anyway, whenever we were talking about this, when I started it, because I was trying to decide what I was going to work on, I thought that I might finish this by the end of baseball season, and I did. So let's talk about the substitutions. I substituted the floss color for the skin here, and that's because I didn't get the correct color in my kit, which is no big deal. I've bought so many Mill Hill kits, and this is the only time that's ever happened. I assume that there's going to be, some problems with shipping every once in a while. So no big deal. There was a color that I could substitute pretty easily. And then I substituted the colors in the baseball helmet. It was going to be, it's charted to be this color red. I was going to make it all blue for the Royals because we live in Kansas City, but the Braves won the World Series. And I said if the Braves won the World Series, it was going to be a Braves batting helmet. So there you go. And I was watching the game whenever they won on Tuesday, and I pulled this out during the celebration whenever they were handing out the trophies and all that, and I put those 13 beads right on that helmet.
Awesome.
And then put the baseball there because I hadn't done that yet. So.
And your 25/7, you were trying to stick as close to 25 stitches a day as you could, right?
Right. There were a couple of days where I did a few more, kind of like if I was trying to finish up a section. Like I think here, I think actually whenever I got to this, I just did all of these beads at one time because I was so excited about getting done. But for the most part, I stuck pretty close to 25 stitches a day.
And then you had to put it on pause.
Yes.
Until they won.
Because I wasn't going to baseball jinx it. Very important not to baseball jinx things. So, but anyway, that's my finish. And I'm very excited about it. That's finish number 17 for this year. So.
Awesome. Okay, well, I had a finish too, and I did not finish it on Halloween, but I did finish it on November 1st. It's Pumpkin Joe by Mosey and me.
So fun.
Joe, he of the big pants. And here he is.
Oh, I love him.
He's so fun. And there's little bits of back stitching, like there's back stitching under that bottom row of grass.
Mhm.
And they did the same thing under the zigzag line here on his shirt.
Mhm.
But he was so fun. He was just a handful of colors. I had bought all the colors it called for. Now, this is one of those where I bought all the colors and then
Mhm.
I read, and the only place you use gunmetal is for the eyes and the mouth.
Oh gosh.
I could have used 310 for that, but
See,
it's okay.
yeah. See, I love him because he has this huge outfit. And I know that he's a scarecrow, but it looks like he's holding out his arms and he's like, look at my pants. Because he has such a grim mouth.
He's so funny, right? He just cracks me up. And he is my finish number 30 for the year.
Wow.
So I was really
Amazing.
happy with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we are both feeling very successful. And we talked some
Yeah.
last week about how our plans have changed because of where we are with finishes. So
Right, for sure.
I'm sure we'll talk a little more about that today again. Do you have any stash to show?
I can't show the stash that I have, though
Oh,
I will let you know that next time I will have floss because I finally broke down and ordered the floss that I need to finish that one panel of September Fun Every Day, because Laura looked at our LNS is close to us and she didn't find it.
yeah,
So,
they were out.
well, they're out of stock on 123 Stitch too. So I ordered from Fire Poppies. That's who I ordered from last time, and I was really happy with their service. So I will buy from you again.
They have some good stuff. So,
For sure.
but they carry a lot of the Barbara Annas. That's always a good place to get, like you can get all the stuff for them. So,
Right.
okay, how about, oh, so
Do
I
you
should
have
do
any?
stash. This is number 75, guys. So yesterday, after we finished, we did run and get a couple things. I got some floss that I was missing, and I also got hoop. There it is.
Nice.
I
love
don't
that.
think I have this one yet. I have Whip It Good, and I think I have one other one. But if I have hoop, there it is, then we'll see what I do with it. Then I am planning for one of my 12 stitches of, I don't know, 12 days of stitching. That's what it is. Hashtag 12 days of stitching in December to start one of the Kathy Haberman. I bought the chalkboard, winter chalkboard that's in the Hirschner's magazine. And so I bought from Fox and Rabbit this 32 count fossil. And I will have enough to do all of them because I bought a big piece.
Nice.
And I also got a friction pin. And it's purple, so you can erase it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when I said I would pencil things in, I will actually write them in and I can erase them if I need to. Okay, so that's yesterday, and that's the really, sorry, the noisy stuff. Then I also got in the Chesapeake Bay Treasures series from Artist Designs, I got Island Ponies, the kit.
Oh, wow.
And here's all the goodies for it. Look at this trim this time.
Wow. That's so fun.
And I like the color. I think it'll be really pretty. It's very different than the other things. And I feel like this looks blue and my fabric is very green.
Yeah. Sure.
That'll be fun. We're going to try that out. Then I wanted to order something from that I knew Kitten Stitcher had. And I also ordered something for the cats. So I got drawn thread, you know, because she makes donations to the animal shelter. So this is one of the things that was in there, Random Thoughts by the Drawn Thread. And I have loved this chart for a long time. I stitched on it in a round robin at one point. And I still didn't go buy myself the chart, silly girl that I am.
Well, here you are. You have it now.
Yes. then this is what I wanted. Anne Grimshaw from the Scarlet Letter.
Oh, wow, that's very pretty.
And I have to decide what color I will do it in. They did, I was trying to see if it said it right here. Oh, they did a black silk floss. I don't know if I will do black or if I will do like a dark navy or, you know, what. And then, you know, I'm getting things. And so I had to get this. I can't think what it is. Oh, I think it says on the tag. I'll just pull it out. First of all, Teresa always sends you something fun. So I got this cute sticker.
Oh, that is cute.
Which should go in next year's planner. I haven't done so well with my happy planner this year, but we'll see how I do. This is 36 count farm eggs. And this colorway is exclusive to her, I believe. And she has it in 36 and 40 count. I love this.
Yes.
Katie got a piece and said, you know, Teresa has that, right? Like, no, but I do now. So
Right.
yeah. And they're folded up so you can see a little closer. I
That's
love
cool.
all the speckling.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'll put on it. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Anne Grimshaw. Maybe it's big enough that that antique sampler would look good on it. I'd have to check my size. So we'll see. If not, maybe I'll have to buy a bigger piece, right?
Right. I mean, you could always find something for that sort of fabric.
I think she, oh my goodness. On 35 count, she would be 18 3/4 by 24 1/2. So I don't think there's enough there. Not quite. That's okay. Yeah. I'll get it. So anyway, that's my stash.
Nice. Good stuff.
Yeah. And that brings us up to whips.
All right. Well, whips. I haven't worked on very many things this week, but I've worked a lot on some things.
Did you choose a new 25/7?
I did. So I'll start with that. And I started this November 1st. So I am working on Christmas Memories. Aww. It's one of this year's Mill Hill Santas. I got all 3 of them when we went to the Silver Needle, but I chose this one because it has a turkey in it. And so I thought that would be good for November and December. And this little dog cracks me up. It's like, give me that turkey. And then the cat's just happy to be there and be part of it. So, it's not a very big, exciting start because I am, it's been closer to really 30 stitches a day just because I've been finishing up little sections of colors, but I've got the turkey.
Woo!
There's that.
There's a lot of colors in there. Yeah,
there's like 4 different browns and oranges in there.
Cool.
It's definitely kind of more detailed than some of the Mill Hill things, but I'm excited to work on this one and get more progress. I think it's going to stitch up pretty fast. And then I have been working on, get my needle minder off of there. I've been working on Fun Every Day, of course, from SamSarah. I've been working on School Days. This is fun here. And guys,
I feel like the bus looks yellow on there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think some of the colors are, I mean, some of them are so variegated. It's kind of hard to, I think, get a true representation. But my yellow is very, very bright.
I thought yours was more school bus yellow.
Mm-hmm. So I am moving right along on this. I've been doing about 140 stitches a day. So the way I have it figured, tomorrow I should have this one finished because all I have is to finish in the cypress on this side and then to do the back stitching, which is perfect because the purple that I need for my other one is supposed to get here on Tuesday.
Oh, so, awesome.
Perfect. So maybe I'll have 2 finishes to show you all next time. So I should have both of these. I've been working on, I didn't bring it in here with me, but I have this one all finished except for the purple stripes. So that's the floss that I'm waiting on. And so then I'll either move to the 9 or the heart. I'm not sure which one. I've been asking my husband which one I should work on. So we'll see what he says. And then the other thing that I worked on is Ottoman Stars Hollow. I'm really hoping to move this one along. And this is by the Black Needle Society, Katie Landis. And I'm stitching this on 32 count Evenweave. And here's where I am on it.
Ooh.
So I didn't really get a whole lot done. I filled in this pennant here and then the wall back behind there. So, and the Yale pennant. I guess I've done both of those this time.
I like that she did it with the big blocks of color and that it's solid.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. And we've kind of talked about this before. There are some variegated threads in here, which is different than a lot of the full coverage ones. So like this is only 2 different blues here.
Mm-hmm.
You can kind of see how variegated it is, which has added a lot of interest. The red back behind here is a variegated floss. It doesn't have a whole lot of switches in it, a little bit.
Usually the backgrounds, I think, in this
Yeah.
one that she did with those. So
But it's been nice because it definitely adds a little bit more movement that you usually have to use several different shades of DMC to create.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. It's kind of for a full coverage piece, it's really a nice, like, tired, don't really want to do a whole lot of color switches project. So that's been good. But that's
Awesome.
what I've worked on this week. How about you?
Well, I've only worked, I switched up my school project and I didn't bring it home with me, but I am working on, I won't be able to think of the name of it. It's a little sampler that I started last December, and I came across the bag and all of my stuff was still in there for school, and I thought I'm going to take it back to school and work on it. And I've been having fun because I have it in a hoop, and so I'm working on everything that's in the hoop. So
Right.
it's a long skinny band sampler.
Gotcha.
I mean, it's only about this big. And so I'm working on this one little corner, and that'll be it. So my new 25/7 is Christmas Garden from Blackbird Designs.
So pretty.
And thank you. It has been languishing forever. I'm doing mine on 32 count Parchment by R R. And I mean, I started this so long ago that I got my fabric from the old mill stitchery. And I had like this border all the way up here and all of Christmas Garden in, and I had these 2 and the urn here. And I think the green, but I've put in all the red and gold this week on there.
Wow, that's a lot.
So I started that on November 2nd, and today's the 7th. So it's not too bad. I'm hoping that by working on it a little bit every day, November and December, that I'll get it to a finish by the end of the year. Because I'd like to start the new year with a new 25/7 project. I just would.
Right. That'd be just kind of a fun way to start off the year.
Yeah. And then in my in Omnia Paratus bag from the Black Needle, I have an outprint chart that I have borrowed from Katie, and I have to finish this because she wants it back, like she's going to stitch it right away. It's Our House from the Goode Huswife, and it really doesn't look that big. Looks are deceiving.
It really is a big one.
Yeah. It's this big, and I still have, I mean, the top will be right about in here, so it's not huge.
Wow.
But there's a lot of solid stitching, like all of that at the bottom. I still need to fill in under around the cat over here.
Yeah.
But I've been working this week on leaves. And I've filled in that many leaves and parts of acorns, and I think I still have 5 colors to go.
Wow.
So it's a lot of moving around. I can show you. It's just a lot of
Oh yeah,
moving around with it.
right.
So hopefully I'll get the rest of the leaves, and I put the pumpkins on the fence and the rest of the fence too. And then I want to do these diamonds because they'll all three fit before I move on.
Yeah.
Then I have to decide, am I going to go ahead and build this house next? Because it's going to be just like this was with all the color changes.
Oh boy.
And I was going to go over and do the tree because, you know, this one with all of this stuff has been kind of a mess, but I think this other tree will be much easier.
Oh yeah.
So that's where I am anyway. And I really love this.
Yes.
I don't know what this linen is. It's from my stash. And I just liked it for this.
Yeah, it looks really good.
Thank you.
I remember us sitting at Panera and you putting in that wall at the bottom there. So
that was great because, oh, this is some of my stash too, a 9-inch hoop. That was great because I was so entertained by everyone around us that I didn't even realize I had gone so far.
yeah.
So it was good.
Right.
And I do find, you know, we do a regular video chat every Friday night, and I find that I am getting way more done because we have those chats. I think it's just a little bit of distraction while you're stitching.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, there are some things that I have to really be focused for, but there's a lot that I can get stitched while we're with a group.
Right, especially if you're doing fill-in or repeated motifs or something like that. Yeah, for sure.
It's a great time to pick your pieces. Like I've left that section behind the cat. Well, I figured that'll be a great thing to fill in when I'm doing something where, you know, I really don't have to pay attention. And then right above it, if I get everything in the hill above it, I think I'll be able to fill it in also. So
yeah. Well, and I think that's why I've been getting so much done on the fun every day. Like today, I'll be watching James after he gets up from his nap while my husband is sleeping. And that's just easy for me to pick up, especially right now where I'm just filling in. I don't really have to pay any attention to what I'm doing there, you know, because it's all pretty predetermined where I need to go. So it's kind of nice to have those projects in your rotation for those sorts of times. Not that I stitch all day with James. Really, I'm lucky if I get 20 stitches in, but it's nice to just have something that's just sitting by on the off chance that he just wants to sit and play quietly, which he doesn't usually want to.
And I mean, even just 20 stitches is 20 stitches more. I think that's what the 25/7 has really shown us. So my 25/7, I should have said this when I pulled mine out. My 25/7 is about 25 minutes. And when I was finishing up Pumpkin Joe, it was way longer than that because Pumpkin Joe's pants had over 1,000 stitches. And, you know, the two sides of the shirt each had over 300 stitches. And then the head was, probably somewhere around another 200 stitches. So there were a lot of stitches in him.
Yeah.
So
I think one of the things that this year has taught me, just because my time has been so much more limited, is that you can really get a lot done if you're just faithfully set like a little time aside just to work on something. Because I've finished several pieces now by doing 25/7. And that's just been a really great motivator. And also, you know, not everyone wants to stitch every day, and that's cool. You know, not everyone is that way. But I've found that having that, okay, I need to sit down and I need to put 25 stitches in on this project. It's the only thing I do today. I just need that little bit of time for myself. Which ends up, I'm not a very fast stitcher. It's like 15, 20 minutes by the time I get everything like pulled out and sat down and actually get it all done. It's been just nice to have that. I'm taking this time for myself in the midst of all the craziness
Mhm.
that is work and home life and, all that kind of stuff. I'm going to sit down and just work on this. And it's just been amazing to see how much you can accomplish with what you'd think is not that much stitching.
Right. I think it's a change I think it's a mind shift, because you do think, I'm not going to pull all my stuff out to put in 25 stitches. But if you will pull your stuff out, or really, I think what we've both found is that we always have that project ready.
Mhm.
So it's just here and we can just pull it and sit down. And yes, we have to get to it, but because we work on it every day, at least for me, I know pretty much where I am. So
Mhm.
I can sit down and just get started stitching. Whereas if I just let that wait until I have time to stitch on it, it could be months. And
Right.
then I will have to sit and figure out where I am, what I've done,
Mhm.
where I'm going to work.
Yeah.
So,
So it's just been a really neat sort of exercise this year.
mhm,
I feel like I know that you've been doing it since pretty much the beginning of the year.
mhm.
And I think I started mid-January when you mentioned it. And I was like, well, that sounds like a great thing to do. So it's been really, really
Mhm.
a fun process.
And I think at that point you were kind of feeling like, oh, I don't have time to stitch. And what am I
Mhm.
going to do? And I really would like to stitch. And
Right.
giving yourself permission to only do 25 stitches is a
Mhm.
huge thing.
Right. Well, and I mean, as you know, we did this Flosstube together, and just the pressure sometimes of, well, I have to have something to show. And, I mean, you guys are great. You've been very, very supportive of like, oh man, well, I wouldn't have gotten that much done. So I really appreciate that. Thank you. And Laura stitches enough for the both of us, really, because she's really fast. So she has plenty of whips to show. But it's really made me feel like I could still come on here and like spend this time with you, Laura, just like chatting and stuff, because that's one of the highlights of my week, really. And then just like being part of this community. I only have to show you that I did 25 stitches a day because you guys are still interested in just seeing what my progress is on that one project. I don't have to feel like, I have to have thousands of stitches to show you every week,
Yes.
which has also been nice. So,
Well, okay. And the other thing with that 25/7 is that if it weren't your daily project, you might not pull it out. You might pull it out one time and put in, what do we get? We get just under 200 stitches. So 175 stitches. That might be all that you put in. And then you would set it down for another few weeks. And then you would
right.
pick it up and maybe put in a couple hundred stitches. So
Yeah.
really by doing it every day, you're just breaking it up
Right.
and getting that in there.
Yeah.
So,
So it's really been I mean, and of course this just goes back to like the last couple of years of just stitching challenges on Facebook and things that you and I have both participated in.
mhm.
Like, and I like counting my stitches anyway for statistics and stuff. This is just the person I am. But I feel like having those be such a prevalent thing in the community has really had a lot of people sit down and be like, oh, that's why stitching takes so long. Like, I feel like I've been doing this for hours and hours. And I
Yes.
only got this little section done, but that little section was 1,000 stitches. I
Mhm.
think it's made us be a little bit more mindful. And also, to the people who look at our hobbies and are like, that's taking you a very long time. Well, yes, do you realize how many thousands of stitches are in this little thing that I've done? So
Yeah, like
um,
our fun every day. What did you always know
right.
the number,
It's
2000?
2,812 in
Yeah,
a panel.
that's a
Um,
lot of stitches.
yeah,
So,
yeah. So, but it's just, I think this year especially, but like the past couple of years have just really made me kind of sit and think about the hobby a little bit more. Um, I'm not really too focused on the finishes and having things up in my house and stuff like that. I'm more focused on the process, but just like, knowing that I didn't sit down and get nothing accomplished, it's kind of nice to have that number.
mhm.
And however you measure it, if you measure the stitches you do, or like how much time you've invested in something, or taking before and after pictures is a huge thing too, because sometimes you don't realize how much you've stitched,
Yep. Well,
Just,
and I know we both did Whip Go this year,
mhm.
and you know, we learned a lot. It was my first year. It was your
Yeah,
first
mine
year
too.
too, right? I think we learned a lot about maybe what would help us with WIPGO, because I'm really ambitious. Keisha is a little more reasonable with her things, but I'll show you. Let's see if I can get it to come up. It's on my phone, so it'll be tiny, but this is one of my boards. So the dark purple ones are the ones that I completed. The lighter purple ones are all the ones that were called that I haven't completed. And the two that are white are the two that will be called for December.
Nice.
Now, that's not a ton to get done on that one. And looking at things, I mean, I feel like I could get some more of those accomplished before the end of the year, and that wouldn't be a big challenge for me. Now, let me see what I've got going on here, because the whole board isn't showing on this one. Come on. No, I don't need to write. Okay. This is my second WIPGO board, because yes, I was crazy and made two when I could have just combined everything. But look at how much I accomplished there. So all of the dark blue are finished. All of the light blue have been called and are not finished. And the two white squares, of course, will be called in December. Now, the good thing for me, especially with this one, is that I had a third color, which was not called, but completed. And I did hit that a few times this year. During May, when we did our mania stuff, I decided to work on whips all week. And so I touched all but one of my whips during the month of, all of my WIPGO whips during the month of May. And the one that I didn't touch was Dance of the Tulips. And it's the one that I finished my first 25/7 on June 22nd. So on June 23rd, I started with Dance of the Tulips, because I thought, oh, I didn't get to touch it. I wanted to, and I finished it. Yeah. So then I started pulling WIPGO pieces until it came to Pumpkin Joe. And Christmas Garden is not on here, but I wanted a Christmas project to work on. Normally, I only stitch on my Christmas things during December, other than the 25th of the month. But I thought it could be fun to do Christmas Garden for all of November and December, and see if I could get it finished, because WIPGO has inspired me to think in chunks like that.
Yeah, for sure. And see, WIPGO has been super successful for you and hasn't been for me.
You started off great, right?
Yeah. I finished a piece that had way more stitches left in it than I had anticipated, but I finished it in January. It was one of the ones that was called for, but then I haven't really worked on it. But that's just because, well, at the beginning of the year, I was a little overwhelmed. I was getting less stitching time than I would normally, and I took a new job at the city that I work for. So the beginning of my year,
and you have a small one.
Yeah. So the beginning of my year was just, I mean, really, I came into this year having no idea how much I was going to be able to stitch at all. So it was hard to set goals that would have been more achievable last year, or a couple of years ago, were not achievable this year. So I completed a couple of the squares, and then I pretty well just scrapped it. I found other projects that I wanted to work on. I put a little less pressure on myself to get things done. I had the 25/7 and a couple of other things that I was working on, but I didn't really push myself too hard, because I didn't want to burn myself out on stitching. Because while challenges are great and I love to challenge myself, sometimes if they're like, you can't reach them, or you're not sure if you're going to be able to, you'll just kind of give up, or at least that's what I do. So I just kind of got through the first part of this year with just whatever. I worked on models that kept me stitching. Models in my 25/7 were sometimes the only things I worked on in a day, which was fine. It was great, really, because I had something that I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to work on today. This is what I need to work on today. And then The fun every day came along, and so that's kept me really motivated. I've really been working on that. That's almost become a new daily project for me. I do work on it just about every
Because they
day.
are fun, all of the
Mhm.
bright colors and
Right. Well, and they're, like I said, I mean, once you get to certain parts of it, they're just chunks of stuff to do, and you don't really have to work for very long to see a lot of progress. And I think, and of course, I love perforated paper, so I'm completely biased here, but I feel like with perforated paper, you can see progress a little bit faster than you do on fabric. That's just kind of the way I feel about it. So it's really made me feel like I'm accomplishing things, especially since you have this big pattern, but it's in four smaller chunks. And so you feel like you're really getting finishes. So I'm kind of excited to see what I decide to do next year, what challenges I decide to participate in. I know you and I have already been kind of talking about that.
Mhm.
Um, but just, reevaluating and seeing what actually works. So I guess through all that, if you set yourself a challenge and it becomes completely unrealistic, don't be afraid to change it or to drop things. You don't, just because you started a challenge one year and you have friends who are in it who think it's great, that doesn't mean it's going to
Yeah.
work for you. And it also doesn't mean that it won't work for you in the future. It just means you're in a place where it's not working right now. And that's fine.
Well, yeah, and like WIPGO, I said, here's the other thing I'll tell you, don't sit down without the projects and set your goals. I think
Right.
this is where this was. And, for me to say, oh, I'm going to get half of the chart done, and then I go and look at it and I'm like, oh, I just set myself a huge goal of,
Mhm.
to try and accomplish. And that was kind of crazy. There were some things like my 2017 Linen and Threads mystery sampler. Um,
Mhm.
that one I kind of know, and really I could finish a band in a whole month of it in 1 month, but it's pretty wide. And so it would take a lot of my stitching time.
Right.
So, um, I mean, I've learned a lot about what kinds of goals I should maybe set. And my goal is not necessarily to complete my whole board. You know,
Mhm.
I'm more about the stretching and challenging myself.
Right.
Although we've said this before and we'll say it again, Keisha and I have talked about that one of our goals for this year was that we would get 1,000 stitches a month in our long dogs. So that, because we knew that, even at that, we wouldn't finish it this year, but it would be finished in a couple of years, 2 or 3 years. And I have about 4,000 in mind because I wouldn't even think to pick it up.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I have significantly less than that. Let
Well,
me,
I hit a point where I sat down for a few days when I was out of school and I was able to just put thousands of stitches in,
right.
but that
Right.
still didn't catch me up. So,
Mm,
but
yeah.
so I joked that what we should do is make a WIPGO board, and we may actually do this. I don't know where Keisha is on this one right now. We may make a WIPGO board that only has our long dog on it, and every square would have 500 stitches. Because if our goal is 1,000 for the month, then when two of them get called, there's our 1,000 stitches. And
Right.
at least it would be a visual that we both have,
To just
that,
mark something off.
yeah, we could mark it off. And so for that one, yeah, the goal would be to see if we could get the whole thing filled in by the end of the year. But
Mhm.
it's also, that one for me would be more of a visual reminder. And I might even print that one out and hang it up so that so that I can actually see it on a regular basis and fill
Right.
it in.
Right. I got about 500 stitches on Death by Cross Stitch this year. So yeah, it's significantly less.
But it just, I mean, it's not the first one we reach for. It's
Right.
probably not one we think about.
It's harder with a bigger project too, because it just takes a longer to get it into your hoop and get everything set aside. And for something that big, I definitely have to make sure that James is asleep and that I have time to sit with it. So
Mhm. I would like to get it scanned and uploaded into Pattern Keeper, because
mm,
I think that would be a game changer for me. It
yeah.
would, it would track my stitches for me. And also I would always know exactly where I am on it.
Right. Yeah, that would be good.
So I need to get my pattern scanned and figure out how to get it in there and go from there. So, and I think it'll be fun when I get it uploaded. Now I know it doesn't count the back stitching and you still have to use your pattern for that, but I am excited to think about getting it scanned and uploaded and coloring in everything that I have done, because I want to
Right.
see exactly what I do have done.
Yeah, for sure.
So, um, other plans, I messaged Keisha this week and probably she fell out of her chair when I told her what I was thinking about doing. I have, um, I mean, we've talked about, I have a lot of whips. And I found another one that was not on my board. So I think right now I'm sitting at like 148. And I got it under 150. And I've finished a lot of projects this year. It
Right.
was not at 180, you guys. I have started and finished things. I started several things during October. I don't think I'm starting a lot for the 12 days of stitching for December. I think I'm doing a lot of whips. I have a couple pieces that I'll probably start. But I was looking at my list and I thought, okay, I really liked in October where I spent the first 13 days working on a different project every day. And then the rest of the month, I could focus on whatever I wanted to focus on. And so I came up with this crazy idea that I could take all of my whips and split them out into months. And I've gone through and done it by size, and I still need to play with it some. But then I would work on a chunk every month, and I would spend the first however many days just working on specific whips. And I have some that I didn't put on there, like my Quaker Christmas. I work on that on the 25th of every month. It's one that's not on there. There are a handful. I think I have 6 that aren't on there, and there are a few more that I've made notes before in the margins, restart or question mark or whatever. I marked a couple for potential 25/7, and I don't think I have any more than 12. No, I have like 16 for December, because it it was the month that had, I haven't had December yet, so I don't know what I'll get finished. It has 17 projects, but because I put the one on there that I know I'm going to start.
Right.
But like I have 12 in January, February, March, and then April has 8 and May has 7, because I figure I'll want to do something in May. And so I'm right around that number. October has 13 because I have to have 13 anyway.
Right.
But that way I would touch every whip that I have going.
That would be really cool. That's a really fun idea.
And Katie thinks I will burn out. Katie Landis thinks I will burn out. So, and it could be that if I'm going really strong on a project at the end of the month, that I allow myself to not start with those projects on the first, that I let them bump back, and maybe I start a little bit later, but that I take my chunk of days and I do stitch on those projects consecutively. So
Yeah.
but it lets me visit them and kind of evaluate where they are.
Right. Well, and I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I'm going to work on next year. I know
Well,
that
you have big plans.
I have a big plan. I have a big plan, everyone. So currently, and I don't have it with me, so sorry, or I'd show you. My big Mario project, it's Mario 3 World 1. It's just a picture from the video game. Currently, I have 22,611 stitches left on it. And Laura was like, well, if you did 611 stitches, you'd have 22,000 for 2022. And I said, you're right. So I think I'm going to finish that next year. I think I'm going to try really hard to finish that next year. And I got to look at, I was doing some math the other day, but I don't remember exactly. So if I do 423 stitches a week, I will have finished, which seems doable. And maybe I'll tell myself 500 just to give myself a little bit of a cushion in there. I had thought about maybe making it my 25/7 for the entire year, a little bit more than 25. It was going to be like 50. But Laura told me that I would probably burn out if I did that. And she's right. So I think I'm going to try to do a goal each week to get that done. And then, of course, work on fun every day. Keep up with that, because I feel like doing a panel and a half a month is doable. It is a little less than 150 stitches a day on that. And then I'm trying to figure out what other projects I'm going to work on to try to finish or do as a goal. I know that there are some coming out, like I would like to finish Autumn in Stars Hollow so I can do Summer in Stars Hollow when that comes out next year. I know that I'll have a few models to stitch, so I'm leaving space for that. One of significant size, I'm sure. And so I'm just I'm gonna kind of play it by ear a little bit. I'm gonna pick a few things that I'd like to see finished, but I'm not gonna put a whole lot of pressure on myself, because again, who knows what sleep schedules are going to look like. Hopefully the same. I can do the sleep schedule that we have right now, but you never know. So I'm just going to kind of wing it a little bit, but have a couple of big overarching projects that I want to get done. And also a thing that I'm trying out this month, and I'll let you all know how it goes, is I want to make some significant progress on Autumn in Stars Hollow. And I want to finish the next piece of Maple Lane from Frosted Pumpkin, which that piece just came out the other day. And then I have a goal on Nice to Meet You from the Scarlet House. And then I also wanted to do some stitching on my Mario project. And I figured out how many days I need to stitch on each of those projects to kind of get them done. Like if I broke them up into 200 stitch chunks. And I've kind of assigned each day to a project. So we'll see how that goes. I'm a little behind right now, but that's okay. We'll catch up. So
you put much more time into pre-counting. And so you know where you are. I am a by the seat of my pants girl, because I picked up my Our House and I'm like, I would like to get this done in November. I'm going to make it my focus piece. And we'll see. I've really only worked on those two projects at home, my 25/7 and my Our House. And I worried about making even Christmas Garden my 25/7, because I knew I had a lot to get done. And so that is a little concerning for me, just because I think it'll go past the end of the year, but I want to try and get it done by the end of December so that I can start with something new. And I want to say it's my 6th 25/7 for the year.
Oh, nice. I guess I'm not at 100% sure. See, I do some pre-counting, but not a whole lot. I'll definitely pre-count on a model, but like for Autumn in Stars Hollow, I haven't pre-counted anything on there, just because I know how many stitches are left, because I'm using Pattern Keeper. I did pre-count the first part of Maple Lane, and it was about 1,700 stitches. So I know that's about what I'm looking for this one, just estimating. So I have done 4 25/7 pieces. So I'm on my 5th one.
That's awesome. And really I started 25/7 because I had that piece that a friend asked me to stitch that I wanted to get done. And you guys have all seen that piece. I have to show you this because I haven't even shown Keisha this. I think I can find pretty easily. Okay. This, it's not on there. You all saw what my 25/7 piece looked like. I thought I had it in here, but I don't. However, I want to show you what I thought I was getting. We went out and dropped some stuff off with our friend Sue.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I thought I was getting.
Oh, that is not what you got.
And she added, she did it differently than how they have it set up. And she added some things in the corners and just put some different information on it. And I really like that. So it's really cool.
Yeah.
And no, that's not what I got. I got a piece from Jeremiah Junction, which was not, I mean, that's not terrible, but just the way that she described it to me, that's what I thought I was getting. And instead, I was just thinking, that's what I got.
Oh. Yeah.
Anyway, that's the reason I joined 25/7, because I thought, okay, that'll be a good motivator and I will pull it out every day. And that's how I'm going to get it done. Otherwise, it will never get done.
Right. Right. And mine was just, I want to jump on this. That sounds fun.
And our other immediate goal is that Keisha and I have 5 charts for fun every day that we have to find. Where we know which ones we're missing, and it's just a little frustrating. So because SamSarah has decided to retire.
Right. And we didn't know that whenever we started this project. So, you know, it's like anything else where you're like, well, this is a 12-part series. Let's see if we're actually going to do it. And now we're actually going to do it and having a hard time tracking down some of the months. So.
And I could have bought all 12 in March when we were down at a Stitcher's Garden, but I don't think that she has them anymore because they're not on her website. So we're missing February, March, August, October, and November. And then what did I show you that I found? Oh my gosh.
Oh gosh. Something about X.
It's like 10 because there are 10 charts.
Right.
I was trying to look in but there are 10 extra things that you could put in to be the fun in between. Here it is, 10 times the fun.
And of course there are 10 of them. So now we're like, well, do we have to do these also?
But they're cute things like this.
Yeah.
Leaves and Christmas trees and carrots and roosters and witches' hats, cupcakes, hearts. Look how cute. Lighthouses, flowers. What's this one?
Snowmen.
Snowmen. Yep. So fun stuff like that. So now we're going crazy.
Right. Because we don't like a small challenge. We don't like a medium challenge. We like a huge challenge.
So we'll be on the lookout for those charts. I have somebody who's supposed to be trying to get them for us, but she's having a hard time. And yeah, I just want them in our hands so that we know we have them.
Yes, for sure.
So.
But we'll get there, I'm sure.
Now we've just hit rambly stage, and
we promised them rambles, Laura. We always promise them rambles.
So I'm going to say thank you again for coming. I hope you stuck with us through this whole crazy thing. Maybe we've inspired you to do a challenge of your own or to work on your 2022 plan.
And let us know what you're thinking about doing, because we love to piggyback off of a plan.
We do. We like to jump on a wagon for sure.
Man, we don't have enough butts for as many wagons as we're sitting on.
Oh, anyway, so I hope you come back next week. And next week will be a Stitch with Us, which is always interesting. And it's November. Who knows what Keisha will come up with?
You never know with me.
But anyway, with that, bye.
Bye. Have a good week.